Hello students, I hope you have understood the first part of this chapter. Today I am going to explain you the second part of We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together by Gordon Cook and Alan East. Here I have given the vocabulary list that is going to help you to read the chapter and understand it thoroughly. Before starting the explanation, this is the recap of the first part. The narrator with his wife Mary and two children, Jonathan and Suzanne, set sail from Plymouth, England to duplicate the round-the-world voyage made by Captain James Cook 200 years ago. Wave Walker, a professionally built boat, had been tested for months in the roughest weather. The initial period of the 3-year planned journey proved to be quite pleasant. American Larry Wiesel and Swiss Herb Ziegler joined them at Cape Town to help them tackle one of the world's roughest seas, the Southern Indian Ocean. The weather began to deteriorate and the crew experienced strong winds and huge waves. At dawn on January 2nd, the waves were gigantic. The crew members tried to slow down the boat and prepared for an impending disaster. Later in the evening, a tremendous wave wrecked the boat, throwing the narrator into the sea. Then he was tossed back into the boat. However, he was badly injured. Now here the story continues. Frantic survival attempts. The narrator knew that the boat was flooding with water, but he dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. Suddenly, Mary came and informed him that the boat was sinking as water was pouring in. He handed the wheel to her and crawled towards the hatch. Larry and Herb pumped the water out like madmen. The wooden beams had broken. The whole starboard side had burst inwards. Clothes, crockery, charts, tins and toys moved around noisily in water. The boat had been damaged. He somehow managed to reach the children. Sue had a big bump on her head, to which he did not pay attention. He found a hammer, screws and canvas. Somehow he managed to stretch the canvas and secure waterproof hatch covers across the gaping holes. Some water continued to come in, but most of it could be prevented from entering the boat. But this was not the end of their troubles. Damaged and lost equipment. The hand pumps started jamming with the trash floating around the cabins. Soon the electric pump got short-circuited and the water rose threateningly. He found that their two spare hand pumps had been pulled away by currents along with the forestay-sail, the jib, the lifeboats and the main anchor. He managed to find another electric pump to drain out the water. The night was an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, steering and working of the radio. However, there was no response to their mayday calls. Mayday calls are the distress messages sent over the radio. They were not receiving because they were in a remote corner of the world. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. She had two black eyes and a deep cut on her arm. She didn't tell the narrator more of her injuries, as she didn't want to worry him when he was trying to save them all. pinpricks in the vast ocean. On the morning of January 3rd, the pumps had reduced the amount of water on board. Each of them took rest for 2 hours by turns. They had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit the wave walker. But the boat was not strong enough to take them to Australia. Pinpricks here the author has used to describe the tiny islands. The narrator knew that the boat wouldn't hold together long enough. He checked his charts and calculated that the only one hope for them was if they could reach Ile Amsterdam, a French scientific base, one of the two pinpricks in the vast ocean. Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits, and they ate their first meal in almost 2 days. However, the relief was short-lived. The weather again started deteriorating, and by the dawn on 5th January, the situation was again desperate. The narrator went to comfort the children. He tried to assure them that they were going to make it. John said that they were not afraid of dying if they can all be together. This gave the narrator hope and a reason to fight the sea. He tried his best to protect the weakened starboard side of the boat. However, later in the evening, as more water came into the boat, they felt defeated again. On 6th January, the weather improved. The narrator again tried to calculate their position. While he was at work, Sue came to him and gave him a card. She had drawn caricatures of Mary and the narrator. The card said that she loved them both and hoped for the best. The narrator was filled with optimism seeing that card. Somehow they had to make it. The narrator made several calculations using a spare compass, made some adjustments, and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. He said that if they were lucky, they would see the island at about 5 p.m. He went down to his bunk and fell asleep. The most beautiful island in the world? Yes, it was about 6 p.m. when he woke up. He thought that they must have missed the island. Just then, John and Sue came to him and gave him a hug because he was the best daddy in the world. The narrator was confused. Sue announced that the island was just in front of them. He rushed out to the deck and saw the most beautiful island in the world. It was Ile Amsterdam, a piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation. When his feet touched the land the next day, he thought of the cheerfulness and optimism of all the people on the boat, which made them pass through the worst stress. Significance of the title. The title is taken from Jonathan's remark, "We aren't afraid of dying if we can all be together. You and Mummy, Sue and I." It is the most telling title the passage could have, for it brings out the bravery, grit and courage of the captain's family and the love each member has for others. Jonathan and Sue's bravery in the face of deadly disaster inspires the captain to fight the sea and come out victorious against its vicious waters. Fortunately, in the end, nobody had to die, and the family remained united. Their ordeal ended in safety, relief, and happiness. This is the most important slide of this chapter. Here we are going to discuss about the theme. The passage has a string of themes woven into it. First is the human nature of knowing and exploring the unknown and taking on challenges. The one who loves adventurous life. Second, human instinct for survival. The tenacious captain, tenacious you can say stubborn, captain and his crew fight the raging storm tooth and nail and come out safely from the jaws of death. Third, human bravery, grit, courage and determination which are exhibited even by little children, Sue and Jonathan, besides their parents and Larry and Herb. Fourth one is element of luck. The captain's decision to take Larry and Herb as crew proves very lucky for their role is vital in saving the ship. Luckily, a pinprick of an island, Ile Amsterdam, is near enough for the ship to reach safely. Fifth one is you can say faith in one's optimism and sharp presence of mind. It is these qualities of the captain which are instrumental in the Wave Walker and its crew's survival. Fortunately, they managed to find the Ile Amsterdam that evening. It felt like the most beautiful island that they had ever seen. Thank you, students. I hope you have understood the chapter and the title, the significance of the title and the theme for this particular chapter is very important because many times in the question paper this question is asked. Thank you. Have a nice day.